Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode, or actually the first episode, at least the introduction episode of a new series here on ESGNet, which is on NCAA 14, and this is the Highland Scotties Team Builder Dynasty series, and this is episode number 0. As this is going to be an introduction here of this new series here on ESGNet. If you guys have been watching other YouTubers here on YouTube, they've especially sports commentators, they've been going back to playing NCAA 14 or even NCAA 13 for college football, and I'm a big fan of college football. I really enjoy playing the football games. I think I've said in other videos in the past that at one time back in I think it was 2007 or 2006, I played 25 years of NCAA football, and I was only 5 years. If I knew at the time, I didn't know, but in retrospect, I found out later on that I played 25 years, and I was only 5 years away from completing the 30-year dynasty they usually have on it. And I kind of was like, well, that sucks, because I kind of want to know what happened. What would happen afterwards. And we never did. I never did. I ended up selling the game off. I think I had to end up buying eventually a PS3. So yeah, that sucked. But going on to continue what I was saying about this series here. This is a cool series because this series is actually going to be somewhat it's gonna be kind of dear to my own heart here. We're gonna create a school using Team Builder. As you see there, welcome to Highland. Yep. And this is actually a real town in northeast Kansas. Now, it's actually not that far away from where I'm living at right now. I live in a small town called Elwood, and it's about a half-hour drive to Highland, which is a beautiful campus. As you can tell there from the photo there, a beautiful campus there. And it's probably one of the oldest schools in the state of, the oldest school in the state of Kansas, older than even KU or K-State. And it's actually the first college of here in the state of Kansas, so it gets some recognition for that. It started back in 1858, and they not too long ago, I think a couple years ago, they spent their 150th anniversary. Them and another school that I went to that also started about 6 months later, before 6 months after Highland did, and that was Baker University. That's another story for another day. But actually, it's kind of weird because both schools have the same kind of history, and they're actually connected in a lot of ways with how they got started. So it's kind of funny how that happened and how that worked out when I was trying to decide schools and stuff. And I'm like, wow, maybe this is this is trying to tell me something. But anyway, the school is it's a great school, and their motto is, from here you can go anywhere, or from here you can see anywhere. And it was just true, because for myself personally, I've had not superstar success. I graduated there. I got my associates in journalism and also in criminal justice. And then I went on to go to a 4-year institution. I went there for 2.5 years. And it was a great 2.5 years. It is a 2-year community college, but I stayed there for it was a semester, working on my second associates, which is the criminal justice one, and that happened because that was by accident. I was taking a sociology class, and it was a criminal justice kind of a class talking about the criminal psyche and stuff like that. It was a really interesting class, and it's like, criminal justice sounds like not necessarily be a cop, but you could be a juvenile officer, stuff like that. So anyway, going on, as you take a look there, that's the campus right there. And for the most part there, where you see on the upper left-hand corner there, those were the dormitories. Or I lived in, I can't tell from this shot. Yeah, I actually lived in one of those dormitories there. I can't really pick out which one. I should have put an arrow there on the picture there, which one I lived at. But anyway, continuing what I was saying, I was there and I really enjoyed it. And the football team, I will say, was not the greatest at the time. Now, since I've left and I've been keeping up with their recruiting and stuff like that, they've actually gotten a lot better. They've actually went to 2 bowl games, one of which they won, and they have not won a bowl game in the junior conference division since probably when my dad was up there. So that was probably a little more than 30. Well, I'm 35, so yeah, about 30. Probably about almost 40 years since they won an actual decent bowl game. And they did that, I think, a couple of seasons ago. Now, basketball team's been great. Baseball team's been great, and so is the softball team. They've actually went to the Nationals here a couple seasons ago. But the football team has not been doing so great. But you know what? When I started the series, I was like, you know what? I kind of want to do a team builder series based on something that's close to me and something that I can relate to and stuff like that. I was like, you know what? I was a part of the football team at one time at Highland. I didn't necessarily play there, even though the coaches really wanted me to. Because I found out. Well, they found out later on my dad played there, and they talked how good my dad was, which he was a good football player. But I was like, nah, football's not for me. I'm more of a baseball type of person, and I enjoy watching football, and I know, I strategizing for football and everything, but it's like, yeah, football's just not me. I don't have it in me. But anyway, going on, and I decided, you know what, let's do a Highland Community College series. So I'm going to recreate the Highland Community College. Now I'm not going to recreate the current team or anything, or the team when I was there. Basically we're going to continue on. And we'll just kind of say it's been a couple of years since then, and the idea of this is several alumni and several people from the state of Kansas have decided, hey, we need it. Since Highland Community College is such a well-known school in the junior rankings, let's see what they can do on the national rankings. Let's see what they can do in Division I football. So with the backing of several alumni have quite a bit of wealth, and also help from the state, we decided to give some assistance and help out this school. Now this will be a small school. There's roughly a couple, maybe close to 1,000 students on campus in a given year there. And so it's probably gonna be one of the smallest schools here, and at least on Team Builder, I try to make the stadium to be small, and try to get it close to what Highland looks like as a small, very small Division I school. My idea, and of course, my idea was, same thing. I was like, it'd be kind of cool to turn the grass like a gold color, because Boise has the blue. They're known for their blue turf and everything like that, but you can't get gold turf on this game, so I was like, okay, never mind, that won't work out. But and I thought, too, Scotties, Scotties are not seen. I always thought Scotties are never seen to be ferocious animals, put them, but I just, the whole idea, I'm like, okay, this actually be kind of fun. So I started to have come up with some rules, and I had some help from a good friend of mine who actually was going to go to Highland, which was very funny to me. And I'll just tell a quick story about this. My buddy Steve, which you guys probably heard here on the channel, he's in a couple of videos here on the channel. He originally helped out. His idea doing the wrestling skits that we had on here called Finmercials, and they're still on here, so check them out. But originally he was going to go to Highland, but he ended up going to Baker, and it was kind of funny because the time when I was going to Highland, or that year after that first year at Highland, he was supposed to come up there to Highland, but he didn't get they promised him a scholarship, and he didn't get it, so he decided not to go there, and he decided to go to Baker, which, then a year later, I go to Baker, and I meet him. So it's kind of funny how everything worked out, meeting him, and me and him are just like, we're like bros. Because consider him a brother, and we get along. We talk about wrestling and sport. And you guys heard us before here on the channel. Sometime here soon, I'm hoping to have a podcast episode with him in our podcast series that we have here on the channel at some point here. But anyway, getting off subject again. The Highland Scotties football team I was a part of, and one time I was actually filming. I was a filmer. I filmed the games like that, and like I said, the school, they didn't have a really good football squad there, and it's gotten better now over the course of the year, over time and stuff like that. So, like I said, in this series, it's gonna be a small Division I school, and my idea was originally to have them be kind of like the Boise State of the Midwest. So that's what we're shooting for. We got rules, and I got rules that are going to be implied into the game where we have no more than 4 players that are 90 overall to start off. 2 of those 4, 2 have to be on offense and 2 have to be on defense. Or I should say not 90 overall, but their overall has to be above 85. Because I learned later on, here if you make a cupcake team, they're in their low, upper 60s, lower 70s, and it's just really tough to really, not necessarily win games, but try to attract people. And in that, you'll see here later on where I messed around with the coaches or the school's identity when it comes to location, where they're at, and just overall their academic prestige is and all that kind of stuff. I kind of fudged on little things because we're gonna recreate Teddy Bonds. Now, if you don't know who Teddy Bonds is, he's been a coach here on this channel. He's been coaching several teams. I think Atlanta, the Falcons, the Colts series I had on here. So he's been on the channel here before. Nothing new. And of course, if you don't know, Coach Teddy Bonds is kind of my alter ego when it comes to football games. He's a tough, hard-nosed coach. He's kind of a throwback of a Vince Lombardi kind of a coach, but in the modern era. So he'll be coaching the Highland Scotties. He's an alumni because I'm an alumni, so is he. It should, like I said, it should be a fun series. It's going to be an interesting series because we're going to try to see his star power and see if that star power can help out this small Division I school that we're making. So, like I said, a lot of the players you'll see here at some point here, you'll see them look like or will be somewhere in the mid to lower 80 range there. When we do start doing scouting there is a rule for that too. We can't scout no one we have to scout below 85 overall. If they're above 85, when we get them scouted, we can't go after them. We can't pursue them. Even if they are wanting to come to our school, it has to be 85. Between the range is 85 or 84 down to 75. So, no one below 75 can go to our school, and nobody above 84 can go to our school. So it has to be that nice range there to get players to come in. So that's another rule that we have in the game here on this series. The other one is our scheduling. We're doing 16. We're a total of 12 schools. We play 12 schools in the season. But the thing is, you can only play out of those 12 schools. You have 12 out of the 12 schools, 6 of them have to be a ranked opponents. The other 6 can be non-ranked. And then with the ranked opponents, you cannot play anyone inside the top 10. So it's anywhere from teams ranked 11 through 25. Anywhere in there, you can play those teams. But the kicker is you cannot host those schools. You have to go to those schools. And so that's what we're going to do. Highland is going to be a independent school for the first 4 seasons of this series. So that means we'll have to we'll be on the same lines as, your Notre Dame, your BYU, but we'll be a public institution. So we'll be playing against those schools, but those big time schools like Alabama and Kansas and all those others, if they're ranked, then we have to go there and we have to play there at their house. All the non-ranked ones we're gonna play at home, and then depending on how the win and losses are, if it's a close game and we win, we have to give them another shot at playing against us the following year, but at their house. But if we, if we lose, we'll play against them, and we'll still, So the teams you'll see here in this season, this first season, there's a good chance that we'll end up playing the same ones again next season. Now, as for the conference, like I said, we're not in a conference right there. We are independent, but for the independents, as you see all those schools right there, we'll be playing those schools at some point. We'll be having those schools. They'll be playing us. So if they're a big school like Notre Dame, we'll have to go to them. If they're a small school like UMass or New Mexico State, they'll play us at our home. And then the next year, like in this season, we actually play those two schools. This first season we'll play them at home, and then the next season we'll play them away. And then by time in year 3, we should be able to play the 6 schools that we play that are non-ranked have to be independent schools, and we'll switch off year to year until the 4th year, and then by the time the 4th year, we should be somewhat established where we can decide on a division or a conference that we can play in, and that decision actually will be made by you guys. So once we get to after year 4, you guys will make the decision on who we're going to play against and what conference we're going to be in. So I'll be making, and also too throughout the course of this, the first 4 years, these first 4 years of this series, I'll actually get some input to you guys, like what should our schedule be, who should we play, and I'll let you guys know who the ranked opponents are and stuff like that, and then you guys can help us out with our schedule. But also keep in mind that if we play a close game against a school, whatever school it is, we have to give them a second chance to play us again, so they can at least try to get a chance to try to see if they can, if that game wasn't a fluke, and we can play them again. But they're, if we played them at our house, we can give them a chance to play at their house, or vice versa. So that's like I said, this will be a series where you guys can get some input in there at some point. Going into season 2, after season 2, I want to imply to you guys a lot more. And like you see here, we have a lot of sophomores and freshmen playing on this squad. So by year 2, after year 2, I want to imply you guys. I want you guys to submit your players. It could be somebody of you or just a player you just created. Of course, I'll give you guys the rules are. The overall cannot be any higher. It has to be. It has to be at 80. So you have to have your guy somewhere around that 80. Actually, I would say from probably about 75. It'll be a 75 overall. And that, you can add you guys and see if we can recruit you guys to HCC. So if we recruit you guys onto the Scotties team, then, and of course I would like to have a backstory with your character and all that kind of stuff. So this is a way where I can interact with you guys, and you guys can be a part of the series also. So I think, I thought and I've been thinking about doing this series for quite some time now. It's been almost over a year or so, and I've been trying to just kind of knock out, trying to get some of the rules in there of what we can do and what we can't do, so we can be a school that we can you can see this school becoming bigger and bigger and better over time. I don't know how many seasons we're going to play of this series. I hope we can play more than 5, because that'd be a good balance of seeing for what we, from day 1 up to that current time. So it just really depends on how often we can get this series coming out. Now the series, I will say, it will be a Saturday and then maybe move to a Sunday series. So you'll only see this series coming up on Saturdays or Sundays. The first couple of episodes, it will be one episode per week, with the exception of this first one, because of course this is an introduction episode. And sometime today you'll see the actual first game of the season coming up here on the channel. So that is something that we will try to do here as we get this series moving on, and then possibly at some time here we'll try to get the series to be maybe 2 episodes, maybe one on Saturday or one on Sunday, and then or maybe just 2 on Saturday or 2 on Sunday. But it'll be a weekend series, so it'll be a Saturday Sunday type of series, with the exception of if there's a pay-per-view on Sundays, then you'll see the series on Saturday. So it's pretty much a weekend thing. So once we get the scheduling and stuff like that kind of concrete and solid there, I'll let you guys know. But like I said, for the most part, you can be for sure it'll be on a Saturday or a Sunday. Preferably Saturday. I try to get the series out to you guys here, just like I do with the other series that we have on Saturdays only, which is the Pete Shiloh series there of his career mode there on Madden 17 or Madden 18, excuse me. But yeah, like I said, that is something we're trying to look into, and or at least that's what I'm trying to look into to kind of help us out here. As you take a look at our grades here as a school here, and like I said, I try to make us not a super duper school, because I don't want to, first year having all Americans try to come to this small little school, which would be awesome, but it's the idea is trying to build us up and try to get us to that prominent school that we could be fine, be ranked and be noticed amongst others within the NCAA Division 1 series. So hopefully you guys can understand what I've been saying in this video. I know I've been kind of rambling and whatnot, but I think this will be a fun series. I think a lot of you guys will enjoy, and it'll be something that I think so far I've been playing it so far here, and it's been really a lot of fun. I like the quarterback, Flanagan there. He's a great quarterback there, and I think he's gonna be the quarterback that I think it's gonna be our cornerstone of our school, because with the way he can throw the ball and the way he can scramble and all that stuff, it's been a lot of fun playing as him and just doing the things he can do in that game. It's just awesome. And so same thing with the wide receivers and stuff like that, the tight ends. Some of the defensive players there are awesome. So it should be a great series, and I can't wait to show you guys here. And like I said, the first episode should be coming up here sometime later today. Now, take a look at the custom schedule that we have there. Like I said, first week we have against UMass. Second week it's going to be at home against New Mexico State. Then we go on the road there to number 14 Stanford. Then we come back home for Houston. Then we go back on the road to USF there at number 19 Wyoming. Then we go, Wyoming comes to us. Then we go to Tennessee for their series. They're ranked 25th in the nation. Then what else we have? We have Arizona State. We go to Washington State, that ranked 24th in the nation. We go to Georgia, who are ranked 15th. And then we're at home against Utah State. And then our final game is on the road. Our final game of the regular season will be on the road to number 17, Florida State. Now, if they are unranked by the time we play them, that's fine, whatever. But when the season, when we have the season start, they have to be a ranked opponent. Our bye weeks, we got 3 bye weeks, unfortunately. We have, I thought we just only have maybe 2, but we have 3. It'll be weeks 9, 13, and 15. And in those weeks, we'll show you guys the stats, numbers of the team, kind of give you guys kind of a personal look at the squad, some of the individuals that are having a huge impact on the team, and of course we'll show you guys around what's going on in the NCAA, who's doing what. This roster that we're using, we're using this past season's players. So you guys got The one guy from Oklahoma State, or from Oklahoma, he's in this series. So it's the current roster that's on that we just had recently, just this past the 2017 season roster there that I looked up online from Operation Sports there. So that's the roster that we'll be using, and it's gonna be quite fun. It's gonna be a fun series, and so far it has been. So far playing the first 2 or 3 weeks of the season. So that is what this series is going to be about. I can't wait for you guys to see this. I can't wait for you to see the stadium. I think the stadium looks... I try to get as close to what the stadium looked like, or the field looked like there at Highland. But it's a small Midwestern town, and it's a small stadium, so I can't wait for you guys to check that out. But that is it for me, you guys. Hopefully you guys will enjoy the series. Hopefully... like I said, hopefully you guys enjoy the series, and hopefully we'll get this series coming up here. We'll get the first episode up later on today, so stay tuned for that. Hit that bell notification for you guys' latest news and events on what's going on here on the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Follow us on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, and Discord. Check those out. They're down there below in the description. Check those out, and that's how you guys can follow us through social media and on here on YouTube. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Stay tuned for the first episode between the Highland Scotties and the UMass Minutemen coming up here on ESGNet. As always, guys, keep yourselves and each other healthy, and I will see you guys next time.